Hey friend, Roger Christopherson again with another Overlooked Gems. I've been doing a bunch today just because I haven't done these in a while and I was like really getting in the mood to like talk about some music. And that's what I do. Babble, some people may say. And if you like that, then this is the place for you, because I'm about to babble about a band called Mass. And they had an album out called Voices in the Night, and I have it here on cassette. But as I was looking through just trying to find anything else about this album, because I didn't really know much about this band, still don't, I found that because I have this on cassette. I've always had it on cassette, never had it on CD. But as I was just looking, there's a site here called massrocks.com where they're selling the CD for $11.99. So if you find this anywhere else, I see they got a couple songs on YouTube here. If you find this, you listen to this and you like it, that's where you can find it. $11.99. Where are you going to find a CD for $11.99 anywhere? I think I might have to go in there and grab one of these myself. But funny part is, back when I found this album, and I can't even read what the year is on here, but it looks like this is Enigma Records. It's amazing how small the writing is on this stuff that it really cannot. I'm guessing it had to be like. I remember listening to this album on the way out to the studio with a couple of the guys in my band, and that had to be right around 1989, 88, 89, 90, somewhere in that. I think it was late 80s, and listening to this album. And I used to just go to the record store, because yes, going to the record store is an amazing experience, and I wish there was more of them around nowadays. And I would just look through and just grab things and just look at them, read them. And, I'd read all the rock magazines and all that stuff. And I can't remember exactly how I found this one, but Michael Sweet produced it. So maybe because of that I sought it out, or I may just have seen it and grabbed it because I thought the album cover looked cool. And you could tell a lot of times by the record labels, and there's no band photo on this, and there's nothing on the cover. So I'm thinking it was either a combination of, I must have known Michael Sweet produced this, and it was on Enigma, so the combination of those things probably made me want to go out and get it. But I remember one of the guys in the band asking, because we were listening to it, because I was driving, so whoever drives is in control of the radio. That's just the way it works. And they're also the lead singer, so anybody else, riding along had to take, either an instrument, not the drums, because I was drummer and lead singer as I was driving, so anybody else could choose whatever they wanted. But anyway, one of the other guys in the band was like, "Man, where do you find this stuff? This album's killer." I was like, how do you just know where to find this stuff? I'm like, well, I've always been like this. I've always just read tons of stuff, and I've just always searched for bands, and that's why I love doing this, because I think there's a lot of people out there that would like listening to this type of stuff. And I wish there was something like this around when I was a kid that turned me on to new music. I had to spend a lot of money on stuff that turned out to be crap. And if there was internet back in the day, I probably would have saved a little bit of cash on some of the stuff that wasn't very good. And I have a lot of stuff that wasn't very good, because I just buy everything and I hang on to it forever. My kids are going to hate me when I die, but that's the way it is. Anyway, this album, back to this album. Yes, produced by Michael Sweet. It does sound a lot like Stryper. I think Michael must have sang all the backing vocals on it, because the backing vocals sound a lot like Stryper. Production on it, unfortunately, is thin. You can make out all the instruments. Sometimes you get bass and kick drum kind of gets lost in some of these 80s production, but you can still hear it all. It just doesn't have that thick bottom end on it. The singing on it, however, is just amazing. He's got that. It's kind of a nasally type sounding singing voice, but it really cuts the music well. It's catchy. It's not annoying. Some of that singing back in the, some of these bands could get a little bit annoyingly nasal, but I don't think it suffers from that. I actually really like his voice, and when he holds out certain notes, he's got this cool vibrato. It's almost like the Bruce Dickinson vibrato going on, even though he's got that more melodic, sound to his voice. He actually was very good at holding out the notes and having that Bruce Dickinson style vibrato. I don't know how else to explain it. And honestly, I'm looking at the credits here, man. I cannot make out a single name of the band members on this thing. It is so small, and it's blue lettering over gray pattern stuff. I cannot make out a single name of anybody on this. Kind of look stuff up on the internet. There's not a whole lot out there on these guys. Looks like it says Louis St. August on vocals. That's about all I can make out. His vocal style. I know they did one other album, and I don't think I've listened to that one since I first got it, so it probably did not live up to the style of this one. However, a few of the highlights on this one, because it has a cool guitar riffing like Stryper had. This is a little bit more melodic, not quite as heavy as Stryper, but it definitely sounds like Stryper late. I don't know if that even makes sense, but it's not an insult. I really like this album a lot. It actually just has that. It's just one of those bands. It's like you hear it and you're like, how did these guys not become more popular? They're like one of the ones that I know. There's a lot of bands around that were all very similar style at this point in time, but there's some bands that were just a little bit more, talented than the rest. And this is just one of those bands that, I don't know, maybe if it wasn't Michael Sweet producing it and like a producer a little bit more experienced, they could have made this album sound. I don't mean to dig on Michael Sweet, because I actually think he's a fantastic artist, but it's very thin sounding. The opening track, Voices of Night, killer. 9 Tonight, I thought was a killer song, and Reach for the Sky, all just killer. The 3 tracks right in a row, boom, 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 just killer. Not that there's any bad songs on here, but the Chance to Love and Turn It All Around were not as strong as the first 3. And then you got songs like Carry Your Heart, Miles Away, and Follow Me are actually pretty good. And then there's the big ballad, Call Out Your Name, which I thought was a cool ballad. It probably could use a little bit better arrangement on it. And like just a better production. I hate to say that, but if that song had been done a little bit more in the style of what radio was looking for at that time, I think maybe this band, that would have been like because it was always power ballads that made these bands. It always was power ballads. And, obviously there's a band here there that doesn't fall into that category, but it seems like 90% of the time was a power ballad that, that made these bands, get pushed a little bit harder than some of the other ones. Just think maybe the production on this is kind of what held it back a little bit. And I don't want to make it sound like this sounds terrible. It just doesn't have that bottom end like it should. And then the last 2 songs on here were okay. Staying Alive and Still the Night were okay, but like it's definitely got the highlight. It's very front end loaded, and then it's got that couple cool songs on the backside with a cool ballad, and definitely worth checking out. I think it's one of these albums that just seems like it should have just done better, but for whatever reason didn't. There's a lot of them like that. I think I've talked about this one longer than I've talked about any of them, so I'm going to end it right there. Like, share, subscribe to keep this music alive, because this is actually one of those ones that, it might be worth checking out. Tell me what you think, and until next time, we'll see you.